Did it go live for you?
Yep, I got the live right up in the corner.
Okay, cool. It's giving me some weird notice thing, but I think it'll work okay. I'll set a backup plan just in case. All right, how's it going?
So. It's kind of a rough morning, but
Yeah.
we're in a better place now, so.
Oh, that's good. Was it anything traumatic or just a bad start?
Just a bad start to the day. Was kind of down in the dumps and worked out, had a nice talk, and I'm over it.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't something major.
Yeah, I'm just glad it didn't drag on, that's all.
Yeah. That can be just very hard to shake sometimes. So what about the rest of your week? How'd it go?
Rest of the week went pretty well. We had our best practice so far this season by far. What was it, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. So that went great, even though we're losing kids on numbers. We're not going to have one kid for eligibility. One of our better players decided not to play. And another one hurt his hip and is done for the year. So we lost 3 rotation players within a matter of a couple of weeks. But we're going to move up a younger kid, and he's doing very well. So we're pleased about that.
Oh, good. So did you just lose those 3 players? Because I know you were getting some back from football.
Yeah, it was just those 3 players. Not everybody's officially shown up yet because the official starts actually Monday, but it's kind of basically, hey, you guys are done with football, you're done with everything else, come into the gym, we'll be there. So a lot of them have come in and they're doing all right, but there's a couple more we're going to be adding on Monday.
Okay, that's good. Hopefully you'll get your numbers balanced out because that's annoying.
We'll be fine.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll be fine. Okay, cool. Anything else exciting happened this week?
Yeah, I could look at it as exciting. I finally got the email from Andre that my second internship, I know when it's going to be now. I already knew previously that I'd been approved, but now I know my start date is going to be the 30th. So over the next couple of weeks or so, I'll definitely prepare for that.
That's cool. The 30th of November?
Yep.
It's coming up. What are you going to do?
I'm going to be at this training facility. It's called Sweat Revolution. It's basically he does a lot of different variety training, very sports specific stuff. Not huge into weightlifting, but a lot of group classes. It's just very interesting, different stuff. I've known the guy since I was a young kid, and he went away he was actually an assistant basketball coach for a long time for one of my initial first coach, and we maintained a relationship over the years, and he decided that this was his passion and not spending all the time in the gym, which is what I want to do. So I think it would actually be good just to be around him a little bit more, and we'll talk basketball too, on top of obviously the sports psychology, the internship, and along with what he does right now is obviously helping people improve their health.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're going to try to get a bunch of individual sessions and then maybe some.
Right now, when we've only really talked about it once, and more or less we were thinking, obviously I'm going to observe their classes in the beginning and just get a good sense of what it looks like and where I could actually, work in where it makes sense for me to step in and do stuff. But I think workshops will probably be occurring, stuff like that. Right now, that's where I'm thinking. But like I said, once I go in there and start observing, it'll be easier to get a better framework of how I'm going to structure it.
Yeah. It'll be a lot easier to figure out where to put it in there. That's so cool. I've always thought about going into a gym for one of the internships, but it just seems so intimidating because everybody knows you're there for a goal, not to get distracted by a mental skills coach. But
that's what we're there to do. We're there to help.
Exactly. You're there to be helpful. Oh, sorry, that's Bella. She's very distracting. So cool. So last time we talked about like the goals and stuff. So how are those going? How are your daily goals?
Um, Pretty solid. I've kind of actually haphazardly run into the relationship goals.
Nice.
I didn't really set out to do them more or less, but it kind of happened like perfectly in sync. Like one of my friends happened to text me on Wednesday morning while I was at work, so I ended up talking with him for a little bit. And
Okay.
today, I just got a text. I don't know if I'll be able to actually talk to him because he's actually over in either Egypt. I'm not sure if he's there yet or he's still in Germany. But my buddy in the army texted me. So
Okay. Look at that. Fulfilling all your.
other than that, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would have been doing very well with the relationship goals. So,
Yeah.
but that's something I certainly will have to work on. But the other goals, I kind of restructured them a little bit. I put it in my
Okay.
dagger here, so I'll read it off. Yeah, for sports psychology, I kind of switched my long-term goal. Like, what was it before? It was very vague before. It was like expansion of mental skills knowledge.
Mhm.
And when I went to just, spend some more time and think about it more, I ended up switching it to what I truly desire for that to be is in sports psychology. Why I'm here is to be able
Mhm.
to implement techniques within coaching role without having to adjust my mentality, i.e., my role as a coach in doing so.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, figure out ways where I can synchronize mental skills along with basketball skills, make them
Okay.
very just coherent and go in together.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have a vision as to what that looks like?
Um, Geez. I would say probably within like conversations, especially when it's individualized, and it wouldn't even be individualized, even within the team aspect, just hitting key points in sports psychology aspects that really help the grand scheme of things. Obviously, like touching on things like motivation and stuff, just understanding my words and how I'm using them, and just
Mhm.
be cognizant of that and how impactful they are. Because even we talked about that in was it counseling skills? Yeah, it had to been counseling skills this week, and that's what my post was about. Basically, was my big takeaway from this week's topic was how important our words are, and how
Mhm.
that can influence so much, not just of the direction of what we're doing, but what kind of information we receive from the athletes. And it really makes sense, just not only just based off the questions we have, but whatever we say to them provides direction, because that's what they're really looking for both coaches and mental skills coaches or sports psychology consultants, whatever you want to use the term as.
Yeah.
They're there and they're looking at you for guidance, and
Mhm.
you're going to be guiding them with your words, and using the proper words, it has a huge influence on what you're going to get out of the relationship. So basically being more cognizant of my words,
Okay.
and then always looking back on my words after practices and whatnot.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, just making like kind of just weaving in like almost seamlessly the mental skills and the coaching aspects during like practices and games and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just constantly observing what's going on and then quickly touching on those needs if the situation comes up. Oh, I I can see there's a lack of motivation going on. I can see negative self-talk. I can see poor communication skills. Just hit on it real quick, plant that seed, and then go from there.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I'm glad you updated that goal. I mean, it sounds a lot more specific to you and what you want to get out of it. So
Yeah, it's more applicable, and I think that'll be easier for me to set my mind on it and actually execute it.
yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Did your daily goal for the sports psych stuff stay the same?
Yeah, here I'll run down the specifics.
Okay.
um, yeah, so that was my long-term goal, and weekly, basically just weekly is based off my daily goals, which is watch a psychology interview at one meal, because that's basically the only time I watch TV that is non-basketball is when I'm eating, because I can't fully concentrate on basketball and eat at the same time. Otherwise, I'll just completely forget about the food. And read a chapter out of a sports psychology book or or something with a topic related to sports psychology, such as like motivation or flow or what have you. It doesn't have to be specifically under the umbrella that is. It doesn't have to be labeled sports psychology like one of our texts. It can be within the framework of sports psychology.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
And basically take highlights and notes and then go over them on a weekly basis and just kind of organize them and structure them in a way that I can see them and then apply them.
Perfect. So did you make weekly goals as well, like over your daily goals? Is that what you said?
Weekly goals just basically, just to organize and basically organize all the notes and highlights that I take away from the week from my daily goals.
Perfect. Nice. So okay, I like it. So did you make weekly goals for the other two as well?
The relationship thing I have to think a lot about, think more about, and I'm kind of wary on that one as of right now. So we'll see where we go with that. I think I'm going to set up a meeting with a psychologist this week and kind of just chat things out, because what I was struggling with this morning, it basically had to do with basketball more or less than anything else. It's basically I have to get over the feeling of always feeling as if I'm a burden when I go to ask people for something. I'm not good at asking for help or for advice or even just feedback in general. Am I doing a good job? And what else could I be doing? What could I do better? I'm just not very good at that because I don't like being cumbersome. I like helping people, and it's something I've struggled with my whole life, and my dad is basically the same way. It's something I think I've basically learned via proxy from him, but I have to really figure out a strategy to get over that. So that might replace my relationship goal for the time being, because it's really debilitating me right now from doing what I want to do, because I'm constantly just questioning myself, and I know I could get rid of that questioning if I just got some feedback.
Okay. So do you think, is there any like reason you feel like you're a burden when you ask for help, or is it just kind of like well, I'll figure it out eventually kind of thing?
I have to discover this reason. I'm honestly not sure about the reason behind it. It's kind of just been it's a pattern that developed over years, obviously, and it's just ingrained in my mentality. I feel like whether it even be calling the doctor's office, it'll take me a long time before I even call the doctor's office if I know I'm struggling with my kidney disease and I'm having bad swelling. I didn't even call for a month because I know they're super busy. I'm like, oh, somebody probably else is in worse shape than me, so I don't want to be cumbersome. I don't want to bother them. Maybe this will just pass, or maybe I can figure out a way where I can get this to calm down. Meanwhile, it causes so much stress in my life, and I'm basically avoiding the issue instead of something that can be solved within a couple of hours. And I feel better as soon as I call, even if I don't even get a response. It's so stupid.
Yeah, no, it's that initial step, that first step. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Don't worry, I know plenty of people who do the exact same thing. They're like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. 3 weeks later, they're like, have 102 fever, and you're like, well, if you'd called 3 weeks ago, it might not got that far. That's okay. It's from my experience, it's all mental. Really, it's getting over that hurdle. But yeah,
and people like to help.
Exactly.
Jesus, I preach this stuff all the time. I get mad when when my athletes don't ask me questions, or friends or family or whoever. I force them to talk, but I can never look in the mirror and do it myself. I have to start doing, basically practice what I preach. And like I said, like I just verbalized, I feel better when I do it. I just gotta get myself to do it.
Yeah.
And once it becomes ingrained and becomes a habit and replaces the old pattern, I think I'll be in great shape. It's just
Oh,
a matter of doing it.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And I mean, it's just that. I mean, I know it's hard like at the time, but I mean, just like you like to help people, other people like to help people too, and it's especially in their like field. So, I mean, calling the doctor's office, like that's what the nurses are for. They're there to make you feel better. Like calling, I don't know, a nutritionist to figure out how you're eating, that's their job. They like to do it, hopefully. I mean,
Hmm.
either way they get
Yeah,
paid for
you would
it. So,
assume that's why they got into it.
right? Right? I mean, they like to help too, so it's just a matter of like letting them help. But yeah, I think it might be our field too. Like we're just so used to being the ones helping, like
Hmm.
kind of turning it around and saying, well, am I at my best? Like, am I at my best to help people if I'm not taking care of myself? So,
Absolutely. Wow. That was a tremendous point, Christina. Wow. Yeah. That I'm sorry, but that was just very impactful. That brief sentence you just gave. If I'm not able to be my best, if I'm not at my best, how could I possibly do what I want to do, and which is help others get to their best?
hmm yeah.
Whew. Chills. Good job. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was very meaningful.
Yeah, no
That kind of
problem.
that kind of well, that it perfectly encapsulates my situation. I mean, what I love to do most, obviously, as I've discussed many times, is help these kids and athletes, basketball players, whatever, family, friends, anybody just improve their lives
hmm
and reach their goals. And if I'm not in the proper mindset and the proper health, whether it be mentally, physically, whatever, if I'm not good, if I'm not healthy, I can't do my job as I see it.
hmm Yeah. So,
All
I
right.
mean, I'm glad that was helpful. I mean, sometimes it's just a light bulb, but yeah, I mean, if you are some reason if something's holding you back, then it's hard to give everything you have, you know.
A little more me time.
But,
That's
yeah.
That'll be different for me. I'm not good at that.
No.
So that'll be a fun transition.
Yeah. Find some me time. Me time is like the most overlooked mental health part that I've seen so far. I mean, I know I'm not a professional, but just looking at
Hmm.
like my friends and like my family, everybody's really good at like having goals and setting them and knowing why, but it's that in between stuff, the stuff where you get burnt out, you know? Like where you got to figure out like, okay, so what's going to make me happy right now? I mean, I know that's not good for like the long term, but you still have to survive the short term
No, it is because I mean that's all we have is the now. We don't.
right now.
So many of us live just vicariously through the glory days of the past or these unbelievable futures that we have planned out.
hmm
But the only way we can get to that future or build off that past is being completely present and acting now.
hmm
So, no, it's absolutely true.
Yeah. So what would me time look like for you? There's like, all right, you have the rest of Saturday just for you. What are you gonna do?
See, I told you this is difficult for me. I'm not good at it.
I know. Well, that's what we're here for. Is like I'm here to bounce ideas off of. Think about it.
I really don't know.
No.
That's scary. You can't even think of that stuff. But I mean, you get so focused on just what your goals are, you completely forget how to just reconnect with yourself. And Jeez, I don't know. God, I really don't know.
Maybe if I reframed it, it would help. So we've been talking about a lot of things that help you get to like your future self, right? Like watching basketball, like picking out plays, dissecting them, working out so you can be healthy in the future, uh, even playing basketball so you can help your athletes when they need help with the technique. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all of the stuff that, I mean, it sounds kind of draining energy from the store for the day. So what would be something that would give you energy?
Honestly, what really gives me a boost every single time is the daily goal that I have for sports psychology, which is um, either reading a chapter out of one of our sports psychology books or a psychology related book, or watching a psychology interview. Typically, and this I don't know if I'll give you the suggestion because of this is the first person I've suggested it to, but Inside Quest they do interviews about personal growth and stuff, and I mean Edward Desi's been on there.
Okay.
Uh, there's a lot of top people who deal with the field of just basically transformation and personal growth. So that's something that I mean I watched one like right before even before this, and just watching it and trying to grab ideas got me excited, and I had energy. So
Mhm.
yeah, I guess yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
And that's something that was actually even touched upon. Is just surround yourself and engage in things that provide. Yeah, exactly. Provide that energy and provide that happiness.
Hmm.
Just the things that bring you down, and just get those out of your life.
Yeah.
So many things that you can expose yourself to that give you that energy, that make you feel good in the present. And that's what you should be always searching for. What makes me feel good in the present?
Hmm.
Because that's all I have. Okay. Yeah. I guess that would be something.
Okay. So
Cleaning
like,
ideas on how to just reconnect your life and stuff. I always find that very inspirational. So basically sports psychology related stuff, improving performance and improving your life.
okay, cool. Yeah. So like inspirational sports stuff like that gives you that recharge, even if you do it while you're eating. Like,
Yep. Nice.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, you have to
I'm
get it
such a
in somehow.
weirdo. Oh my god.
That's okay. Like, that's fine. It's something.
Yeah, I get. Oh yeah, just take yesterday morning for example. I'm like, oh well, Aziz Ansari has this new comedy show. He's a funny guy. Maybe I should check it out. As I'm watching, I'm like, no, I kept checking like the time on it, what's left. I'm like, I could be doing something productive with my time. It doesn't energize me. You're right. It's so I get so way too often I focus on what's going on outside of me. That doesn't matter. What works for you is what I need to focus on. Jesus. Thanks, Christina.
Woo! Helpful! No, it's really exciting. I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad we had like a one aha moment. Like the entire 4 sessions, good. Give myself an A plus. Like,
Yeah, well, this should be your 15-minute section for Vicky.
oh yeah, for sure. And I would give you an A plus too because you had to think it through. You're the one who had to like connect with the words.
No,
You could have just sat here
I
and
don't
nodded your
like being down in the dumps. I don't like just surviving the day. That's not fun. So
head.
I hate being like this, and I like to help people get out of it myself. So
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. We figured it out. Something that
yes,
energizes you. Now we need to make that. I mean, I feel like it might be hard to make that a daily goal. I would love for it to be a daily goal. But if we start out making it like a weekly goal type thing, it might be a good place to start.
I think it could be a daily goal.
Yeah? Okay, let's make it a daily goal.
That'll be like the first thing I do every single morning. I mean, my breakfast will be paired with something like that. Period.
Okay.
I'm gonna write that down after we finish up. Just basically removing all the things that don't energize me. I want to be full of energy all day long. I don't need these distractions away from what drives me in life. You don't need that garbage. Who gives a shit if you're missing out on it?
Exactly.
So what you do is you're debilitating yourself. God, man.
It's all good, man. Okay, so you're gonna pair it with breakfast. So how long do you need? How long? Okay, it's first thing in the morning. What span of time is just for you? This first hour is just for you?
Half hour to 45 minutes.
Okay.
That literally, like when I start watching one of those interviews, and it doesn't have to be just that channel. Obviously, there's like Google Talks and TED. I'm not a big fan of TED Talks because they don't really delve really deep into the details of the subject. So I've kind of stopped watching TED Talks. I don't find those inspirational at all because there's no information there, so nothing I can use. It's very broad. I don't like broad because it's not useful. You can't apply things that don't have any information in it.
Yeah.
And kind of just give you a little sneak preview. So, but there's like sit down interviews are just very helpful, and there's plenty of lengthy ones, and I'll just watch whatever up to a certain point, and then go on from there.
Okay. I like it. You like it? Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm pretty pumped. Alrighty. So what I had written down for the day was kind of just because we talked about the long-term goals, the daily goals, and now we have the weekly goals. And we even added a daily goal. That's good. I'm pretty pumped about that. But I was pondering it, and we didn't make any like short-term goals or kind of like little things in the middle that let us know we're getting to our long-term goals. You kind of know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like your long-term goals they're just kind of really far out there. I mean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They seem light years away.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe we could come up with some that are only like half a light year away. So something maybe that's only a year in the future or something like that. I mean, I don't know if I had it written down. Oh, okay. So for the NBA one, NBA player development, what would be kind of like a halfway marker to let you know that you're on your way to sending in that resume? Because that's how we knew we made it, right? Was sending in of the interview of the resume or application. So do you think there's kind of like a halfway mark? Like how do you know you're on your way?
When I'm an assistant at the college level, I see it just progressing.
Okay.
And it could be a smaller one. When I first set out, I was like, I want to start at the very bottom of a high level program. Now I'm not sure. I don't believe that's what I want to do. I want to immediately be involved with the athletes themselves and then progress that way instead of trying to get my way into the bottom of where I already want to be and then work my way up within that structure. I'd rather just get in the position at a lower level and work my way progressively up to where I would reach the top level.
Okay, cool. So right now you're assistant at the high school level, right?
Right.
Okay. So we'll have our short-term goal, maybe the assistant at like a college level. Would that count junior college or
Um,
Strictly.
yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Division III, college, Division II. What, like I said, I need to be coaching at a higher level. My goal, yeah, like say a year from now, ideally I would be coaching at a higher level as an assistant.
Okay. Perfect. No, that's a good goal. A year from now, I mean, and even if it takes like two more seasons or 2 years, like it's still a goal that's closer than the NBA one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and it's obviously much more realistic. I mean, that's something way down the road. It's likely I wouldn't reach that, and realistically, I wouldn't reach that until I'd be late 30s, 40, perhaps. I mean, and that's perfectly fine. I kind of realized that I really want to be involved, that I'd be best served if I was constantly working with the athletes. And if I can progress up to that level, fantastic. That's the ultimate goal. But I just want to get better at that craft, and I'm not going to get better at that craft if I'm, doing an internship for the Houston Rockets where I'm just going making coffee runs.
Yeah.
Because I won't be able to practice what I'm doing. It'll be much more difficult. I won't have the time. I won't have the resources to do it.
Yeah. All right. Good. It's a good thought process. Yeah. Because I wasn't thinking that, but it makes sense the way you say it. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So then the next goal was with the psych degree to be able to use it in the daily, or to be able to integrate it into your coaching
Vernacular. How about that? Yeah.
vernacular style system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is there a short-term goal that we can make with that one?
I would probably say build more of a foundation on how I can set up a system where it naturally flows. So basically have a firmer grasp on ways to implement the techniques with the kids. I keep saying kids just because that's what I'm working with right now. Obviously, it'll change in the future, but just have get a better sense of what techniques would be useful and produce the best results within the framework of a basketball season, both off season and during the season. So would it be mission statements? Would it be individual mission statements versus a team? What would basically just kind of organize a plan better and just bounce ideas off of and just analyze different techniques and what would be most effective within the framework of basketball, I guess. It's kind of difficult for short term there.
Yeah.
Because it's very constant. So with that goal of implementation of the natural flow as a coach.
Maybe something like having an outline, or like maybe like a proven outline. It doesn't sound quite right, but like because you said the word foundation, so you just want something that's constant that you can build up off of depending on the player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So having maybe
a plan of attack, I guess, heading into every single situation. Mostly going into, I would say, probably off-season plan versus seasonal versus in-season practice of mental skills.
Okay.
Being able to sort that out and attack different things. What would be more appropriate, and during the season as opposed to what would be most effective during the off season. I think that would be something that would be valuable. Yeah, that one's kind of difficult. I'll have to spend more time thinking about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to come up with one like right off the spot.
I was able to do the coaching one right off the top.
True. But I kind of just wrote down for like a short-term goal to have a reliable off-season versus on-season mental skills plan.
Mm-hmm. And I think have like once I start organizing those notes and the thoughts, it just becomes much easier. Like I what I do is I just go through, and preferably it's a Kindle that I get our sports psychology books or the psychology related topics, because I'll just do the highlights, and then I'll just, after I even finish up reading, I'll read through it, and then the next morning I'll read through what I read and go from there. And then I plan on tomorrow, if there's time. I'm kind of actually busy tomorrow, so maybe even Monday might be a bit more appropriate. I sit down and I organize them. Like right now for with the Kindle one, I basically go through, and because I don't know if you've actually had the gone through and done highlights in Kindle, but there's 4 different color shades. So I basically broken it down. Yellow is examples and analogies. Blue is for quotes. Orange is for essentially lists and like key terms and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And pink is for applications.
Wow.
The terms and the applications sometimes get a little hairy, but that's the only one where I kind of run into troubles. But yellow, analogies and examples, that's easy. I recognize that right away. Quotes, easy, recognize it right away. It's just deciphering between the terms, and like it's more or less, they tend to come down to lists when it starts listing things out. Like here's the plan. This is how you organize. This is how these are the questions you should ask when thinking about the purpose of what you're doing. Something like that. That's when I go orange. Whereas like the reason behind doing it, or the application, basically I keep going back to application, but like the reason behind it and why it's useful. There we go. Yeah, why it's useful essentially is what I do in pink.
Okay, gotcha.
So pink is basically the setup, and orange is how to do it. There we go.
No, it's good. That's all you have it all. I mean, it sounds like you're very organized. And that is
Well, you have to be, otherwise it just gets clogged together and it becomes very difficult and overbearing, and then it's like, whoa, I can't even deal with this. Then it becomes, why did I even bother highlighting?
Yeah, the whole book is one color now. I don't
each one has different meaning. It's not like oh, this means that, this means that. Then how can I structure it so it makes sense?
Yeah. No, that's great. I get pretty excited if I consciously make a difference between like having the highlighter horizontal or having it like vertical, so it's just under versus covering the whole thing. I get really excited if I make a conscious effort for that. So the fact that you have deciphered 4 different highlighters, it's pretty impressive, not gonna lie. Okay, so one more goal is the relationships one. So the long-term goal for that, I don't know if I have that written down. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was expand my social circle.
Oh, yes, the expansion of a social circle.
You could just tell by that language how big a buy-in I had.
I mean, you sounded pretty like for it when we made it.
Well, because I know it's important, basically, but
it's important, but
yeah, it's definitely lower than the other 2. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Which is not good, because obviously I need people to talk to, so otherwise I can't keep my sanity. As you see me work through this nonsense this morning already. So thanks, Kristina.
Yes, no problem. I'm here for you anytime, man. We're part of the same group, JFK family. Yeah.
That's why I look forward to when the semester always starts.
Right?
I need these like-minded people, because nobody, like I said, I can't find anybody around this area that have the same interests as me. It's so tough. That's the only thing I miss. That's probably another thing I miss the most about being out there on campus, or even just in California itself. It's just a completely different mindset. I mean, in this area, people aren't driven like that. They don't. I have one driven athlete, and I just glob onto him because I think probably I need it more than him, even though I know I'm helping him more than but he's helping me just by being there and having some interest in wanting to improve himself.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's definitely interesting because I had to do some online classes this quarter instead of on site, and it took me a few weeks to just not only to just like trying to figure out like, okay, I need to read and then I need to post and then I need to read and then I need to post, but the whole like non-collaboration thing to like bounce ideas off of. I mean, that's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
tough.
different. Like I actually feel like it's also doesn't help because I was only out there for a quarter, but I feel like I'm just so obviously we're further along in the program itself, but even I would say even by the spring quarter, I was getting more out of the online work than I was when I was out in California.
Mm-hmm.
And you interact plenty with people. I honestly I don't really like the setup of what we have right now. This new with the blackboard compared to the thing we used to have. I can't remember the name of it now, but
Yeah,
it's,
so long ago.
yeah, but I just felt more interactive with the other one, whereas this one, and it also could be the instructors as well.
Yeah.
So sorry, Vicky.
Sorry. Yeah, no, it's definitely a process. But we'll figure it out.
Yep.
But we still need to try to come up with a short term for the relationship one because, like you said, it is important. We need people, even if people aren't always fun. We still need them.
Okay, I think I've come up with one. It's
Okay.
something I haven't had since I was in freaking middle school, but
All right.
I've been attempting to do it for a little time with and my mom being the sweet woman that she is. She paid
Oh,
for it for 6 months. It was on eHarmony, and I've gotten basically no results from that whatsoever. Even
uh-huh.
though I attempt to reach out to people every single day, like I'll send out because they have like guided questions. That's how
Okay.
you initially start the communication process. And
Mm-hmm.
I've only gotten like down to the final stage where you're emailing before you even meet the person with one person. Even though I reach out to at least 3 people every single day, so
Okay.
that's pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I said before, just even sending it out, it makes me feel better. It feels like I'm making an effort here. This is all because that's within your control. Instead of
Exactly.
leaving room for interpretation, I think that's why that first step is so useful and so energy boosting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That indecisiveness that hampers you and just debilitates you.
Yeah.
When you finally just take action, it becomes so much easier and so much more satisfying because you can learn from action. You can't learn from just sitting there. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Exactly. Nothing happened.
Nothing happens exactly. So why not within a year have a girlfriend?
All right. I
There
like
it
that
is.
goal. All right. How do you feel about that goal?
I feel good, and I feel like I should write that down just to reinforce it because otherwise I'll just, like I said, I didn't buy into it originally, but I need to just remind myself every single day. And I don't know. I just, it's something that it never really sparked a huge interest in me, but I've always been better at relating to women than men, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, much more open to communication. Like, I have to force guys to be open and honest.
Yeah.
Women seem to be much more, Kristina. I appreciate that about the fair sex.
I mean, I could go on an entire rant about men and communication, but
Oh,
that would be distracting. So we might just avoid that for now.
I
But
could rant with you. It bothers me so much.
I know I don't understand it. Just
It takes
tell
me
me.
us we so many men just put on this facade of emotionless and nothing bothers me, and it's like bullshit. You're
Yeah.
human. Okay, I know. I go home myself every single day. I go through problems and stuff. Be
Right?
honest about it. Tell me. That's the only way it gets better, for God's sakes.
Right? Like, don't lie to me and tell me you didn't cry at the start of Up, okay? That's a lie, and I know it. Just tell me the truth.
That's what I can't do. I can't watch romantic comedies. I always end up crying. There it is. See?
Right? It's natural.
It's
Emotion.
okay. It means they
Yeah,
did their job. That's what they're trying to do.
exactly. Like, those people don't get paid millions of dollars to write a song that doesn't make you cry. Like, obviously. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that was the rant. Going off. It's okay.
I do it all the time, Christina. Don't feel bad.
I know. I just try to limit them to, like, not too long, because then, it just goes downhill. It's not helpful anymore. But yes, a good rant is also very healthy. I have learned. Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually pretty dang excited. We got some short-term goals. We had some light bulb moments.
Yes.
I like that you put some of those weekly goals in all by yourself. I mean, it's a little Lone Ranger of you, but it's okay. I appreciate it. I don't think
Like I
God
said, it's a
heard.
bad habit. That's who I am. I try not to rely on others for anything, which is something I have to improve on because it hurts me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, with that, we made a new daily goal. Um, taking the first 45 minutes of your day for you,
Yep.
right? Okay, whatever that might be, watching an interview, reading a comic book.
Whatever energizes me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that energizes you. Okay. And with the reaching out to people one, I mean, just kind of keep it in your mind for now. I mean,
Yep.
it's something, it's a habit, honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just with anything. I mean, like we've talked about over and over again, it's that initial first step.
Mm-hmm.
And not giving up just because you didn't get the results you were looking for in the first step. It's continuous, continuous, continuous.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll get what you're seeking out for. Or you'll learn a new way to get that.
Exactly.
But indecisiveness or doing nothing leads you nowhere. So
Exactly. And even if it's just for something little, like, I don't know, asking your dad where the wrench is, like, it's asking for help. Like,
oh, you know me very well. I'm always looking for a handy wrench.
I mean, you need them all the time, right? Like, fixing cabinets and stuff. I don't know what New Yorkers do. I don't live there.
New Yorkers. We get bored and grow facial hair for no reason.
I mean, it happens. Going for the lumberjack look. I like it. But yeah, no, I think we did really well. Make sure you keep those long-term goals somewhere you can see them, and those daily goals on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna ask? Oh yeah. Now that we're wrapping up, I was gonna ask you how that if you ever heard from the physical therapy place you were trying to get a job at.
Oh, it wasn't up on the website, so I'll probably check on Monday. I'll just send my ex-boss a quick email. Hey, wasn't sure. I checked the website, didn't see anything on there about the per diem position. Just was wondering where you are in the process of that. So
Okay, cool.
I'm not worried about it. I know she'll be fine with it. So, and she wants me back because they love me there. So
yeah, I mean, well, that's what
and
happens.
I want to go back. I'm not looking forward to this 4:30 to 10 at CVS tonight. Not going to be fun. But I just create my own fun. It's insane what it. Last week, when literally nobody was coming in, I took the seasonal candy. This is how bored I was. I took the seasonal candy and kept reshuffling it so the piles of candy were perfectly even. I actually ended up ignoring multiple customers just because I was so entrenched and focused on that. But I made the night fun somehow.
There you go.
I had to get very creative with it, but I was able to do it.
If it makes you feel any better, My retail store is open until midnight tonight, and I get the closing shift.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
It will be really fun.
Yeah.
Especially if there's people in there. Oh gosh, if there's people in there.
I'll stop. I like people. I like when I have to interact with people.
I
When I
mean,
don't, that's when I run into trouble.
at least you find fun projects to do. I mean,
You got to, otherwise that night feels forever.
I know. I can only fold like the same pile of sweaters so many times before I just want to throw it on the ground.
Well,
But anyway,
inspect what it's made out of. I don't know. Geez, I'm trying to think of this different things. Oh, there's tons of stuff you could do in a retail store.
yeah. I'm sure I'll figure something out tonight.
Yeah. Just create a little mission for yourself. That's what I do when I go in there.
Yep. Missions. Yeah. Usually it's like make sure the fitting room's clean, or I don't know, make sure there's nothing on the ground, something boring like that. But anyways, have fun at CVS tonight.
Will do. Enjoy closing yourself.
Thank you. I
And
will.
like I said, thanks. You were a big help today and did a great job over the 4 weeks and look forward to switching roles.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I'm gonna give you a lot to work with, so
Alrighty.
I don't know. I over the past few years, I noticed that I'm good at talking now, which is weird. I don't know what to do with it. No, I'm excited for next week. I'm gonna write it in my phone, make sure it's on the correct day. Do you still like Fridays?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. I'll write it down. Um, yeah, I'm pumped. Oh, I'll see you next week.
Next week. Sounds good.
All right, have a good rest of your day, Adam.
You too. Thanks, Kristina.
No problem.